All right, we are getting into our July programming for our Strong Inside and Out crew. So what this month is going to look like for our day one, our Monday workouts. We're gonna start off with some back squats. That's what I ideally would like you to try. If you don't feel comfortable with the back squat and you have access to a gym, then you are going to hop on a leg press machine or a hack squat, even a Smith machine, and get that bar on the back. Or if you're on a leg press, get the feet higher up on that platform there. So that way you can target more of the backside with the hamstrings and glutes. And any version you do, what I want you to be mindful of is making sure that you're standing shoulder width apart, you're driving those knees out. That's going to keep those glutes on, as well as getting that good depth. So ideally we want good range of motion. What I look for is the hip crease is below the knees. So when you go into your squat, you're getting, again, as much range of motion as possible without letting that backside dip under. And then we're not coming up onto the toes, and we're leading with that chest on the way up. All right, after we're done with our compound movement, then we're gonna move on to a superset. Again, if you're at the gym and have access to a leg extension, that's gonna be working those quads more, hop on that. Again, I want you to work on that range of motion and going really slow and controlled. So when you're at the top of that leg extension, hold it for that split second to control back down. I don't like those like whippy movements. If you are at home like me, then you are going to do a version of a leg extension, but using your body weight. So I'm going to do a reverse Nordic curl. So essentially, you're gonna come down onto the knees, keeping the spine nice and long, not breaking at the hips. You're going to drop your back to get a nice stretch in the quads. You should feel the belly engage, and then you're gonna squeeze to come back up. Again, this is a nice controlled movement as you go back and forth. You could hold weight. I even like holding a band just so I can get a little deeper, but I'm not really using it to assist on like the bouncing of getting up and down. It's just more allows me to get a little bit deeper with that good control. Followed by that, you're gonna bounce into a calf raise. I do prefer you to be standing. I'm just gonna set up at home. I'm gonna stand on a plate just to get me a little bit higher so I can get a stretch in the back of my calves. I'm just getting up nice and tall. If you, same thing, have access to a machine, there is the standing calf raise machine, and you can also do them seated as well if you have access to that machine. All right, you're gonna bounce back and forth between those lower body movements, and then we're going to go over to a cable machine and perform a lat pull. So that's gonna be our wider overhand grip, making sure that you are leaning back just a little bit, and then we're pulling to the upper chest, controlling those lats and controlling the movement back up. You can get a stretch if you need, and then coming down. I do have a cable system set up, but it's not like the gym, so it does look a little funny, but it works, it does the job. All right, you're gonna superset that with a barbell row, and we're gonna go underhand. So we're gonna go a little tighter, working those biceps. We're gonna hinge over, and then we're gonna pull those elbows back, and that bar should be hitting like our belly button. Same thing, I like the controlled movements if we're doing strength. Once we get heavy enough or deeper into our rep range, we can kind of start adding a little bit of momentum, but not all the reps should be like that. Especially for this first week, we're just kind of dialing in what weights we want to use, and we're keeping that RPE at that level 6 or giving 60% of your effort. So again, we're kind of just experimenting, finding our weights, and then these next few weeks we'll be bumping it up. All right, after that upper body set hitting the back, then we're going to set up that cable machine with the ropes and do a cable crunch. So we'll come back down to the floor in a kneeling position. Again, your abs are doing the work here. So you're gonna think about locking those shoulder blades down. The elbow bend shouldn't move as you're coming up and down. Okay, it is the belly. You're getting a stretch, and then you're squeezing the trunk. All right, those are my coaching cues. Our week 1, day 1 workout for July. Be sure to sign up if you want more coaching and join the whole Inside and Out crew.